This is Mr. Magnifico, and in this video I'm going to be looking at my Temu haul. It is a collection of items that could be trash or treasure. So without any further ado, let's get to it. So for the first item we have a rechargeable headlamp. This was listed at £2.88 and has been pleasantly delivered in a rather beaten up box. The side of the box has all the relevant information. It is a headlamp. It has USB charging, it has 3 modes of lighting including a strobe. The main body is made of ABS plastic and the weight is 102 grams, which is very light. No pun intended. It is so light I am concerned about the quality of the battery in this device. The last point says life class waterproof. Again, probably something lost in translation. The other side of the box has pictures of the variety of use cases where this headlamp can be useful. So let's unbox this and see what we've got. So in the box we have this strong resistive headband, a micro USB charging cable, and of course the LED headlamp itself. In the hands, the headlamp feels lighter than it was in the box, and whilst it is cheap and plasticky, it is not flimsy. This connection is very strong, allowing us to leave the headlamp at many angles. The charging port is covered and the button appears to be waterproof too. This is not something I will be testing. The light output also looks very good. This is only one of them on. There are another 4. Now 4 of them are on, and together all 5 of them can be turned on as well. Pressing the power button allows us to cycle through the different modes. This is an example of the light in pitch dark. So let's see what it's like with the headband. Getting the headband on was a bit of a hassle, but once it was on there, it was pretty secure. The elastic is securely in place and it's pretty strong and secure, so the headlamp will not go anywhere when it's on the head. And as you can see here, the headlamp is doing its job, brightening up the place and leaving the hands free. In a future video, I will look at upgrading the battery so that it can last longer between charges. Up next is something that I have used quite a lot. It is known as a VCE DC jack. They come in male and female types, and this pack of 5 for £1.48 was not a bad deal at all. There are many uses for these jacks. Most commonly they are used for CCTV power. These allow a solderless connection between the power source and the destination. All you have to do is unscrew them and then tighten the screws. The terminals are marked with positive and negative, and the connectivity is really simple. The size of the pin and jack are so common that they are used by most 12-volt adapters. This is an example of them in use. I have used it to provide power to LED bars. Up next, bicycle mirrors, 2 of them. At 27p each, it was worth trying them just to see what they'd be like. They were packaged pretty well. They are pretty compact, but the viewing area is still pretty large. The plastic used here is actually better than the one used in the headlamp, and these again look very secure. They can be angled in many positions and attached to the handlebars with a rubber strap. Now let's remove this protective film. Well, that didn't go according to plan. So having a look at the surface, we can see that it's not glass, which means it will not break, but it's reflective and it does the job. How useful it will be evident when I get it on the bike. I will be revisiting these again. Up next is a pack of quick splice clips. Costing £1.67 for 20 is a great deal. I have used these clips in the past and they are very useful for splicing into wires so that they can be hijacked. For example, if you wanted to add some extra LEDs to your vehicle and you wanted to get the power from the side lights, you would use these to splice into the wires without cutting it or damaging the wire. So you don't have to cut them, strip them, solder them and then tape them back up. This takes all the trouble out of it. Simply place the clip around the original host cable and then place the second wire that you need power to into the second groove that does not go all the way through, and simply close the clip. And then with a plier, apply some pressure to this metal clip here, and this will splice into the host cable and into the secondary cable, allowing them both to be spliced into each other, so both of them will have power going through them. And then when you're finished, you can just close the flap and they'll be secure. Up next is an item that needs no introduction. If you've seen my previous videos or any electronics DIY channel, you will be familiar with the TP4056 chip. A tiny 5V USB-C chip that allows you to charge and protect lithium cells. These came in a pack of 5, costing me $1.98 for the USB-C version. They still exist in micro USB and mini USB, but they do the same thing. I have used loads of these in the past, and they still have many uses, from making a lamp rechargeable to making a 12-cell battery charger using a computer power supply. Let me know in the comment section if you want to see more on this. Up next, I have a Bluetooth amplifier board. It claims to be lossless and Bluetooth 5.0 with a micro USB connector, a 3.5mm jack and a battery in, as well as a stereo out. And of course, what sort of a DIY electronics channel would this be without a DIY Bluetooth speaker? This board cost me £2.38, and this is something I will definitely be revisiting in the near future, so don't forget to subscribe and comment if you would like to see this. Up next, costing only 89p, is a 30m roll of heat resistant tape, also known as a Kapton tape. This can be used to insulate circuits and protect them from high temperatures, something that is very useful when it comes to working with DIY projects. Again, I have used this in many projects, from the hard drive repair video to making DIY e-bike battery packs. This next product was quite costly in this haul, but it is a product that I can see making a huge difference in future projects. It is a USB Type-C connector with the ground and positive cable pre-soldered. It is also nicely enclosed in a strong plastic case. This will be ideal for case modification. It is easier to insert this into a drilled hole than it is to mount the TP4056 connector. So this is how I would plan to wire it. This will go on the case, and then the wires will be attached to the input of the TP4056, thus making the modification of older devices easier. So keep an eye out for this one too. Up next are webcam covers. For those people that are privacy conscious and want to keep prying eyes off your webcam, this gadget is for you. For $125, you can protect yourself and 9 of your family and friends. It is very small, very simple and yet effective. It is made of a soft plastic with sticky back, allowing for easy installation. It is rather thin, so it will not cause a gap between your laptop and the lid or damage your screen. However, I would not recommend this for certain model of Macs because I have heard that they break very easily. So to install them, simply remove the sticky back plastic and then place the cover around the webcam. The direction in which the slider goes will depend on whether your webcam has an LED next to it or not. I would leave the LED out. As demonstrated here, it is very thin and does not affect the closing of the lid. Now we can see that the webcam is on, but there is nothing visible on the screen because the slider is closed. And then if we slide it, now we can see that the webcam is visible. And it is as simple as that. So if you want to cover your webcam, definitely get this. Up next is a 10-pack of 2-pin SM connectors, costing £1.48. These are also a very common type of connector used, particularly in low-powered electronics, batteries and lighting. As I work with LEDs often, I will be using these to allow the LEDs to be connected and disconnected without having to cut the wires or desolder them from the connectors. Up next is a rather interesting item. It is a 5-in-1 USB dongle. For £1.98 we get a dongle that gives us a micro SD card reader, a USB on the go host, and it allows us to connect the USB A port or micro SD card to a USB A or USB C. But that's not all. Hidden inside the USB A connector is a retractable micro USB connector. That means we will be able to connect it to a micro USB as well. However, getting this micro USB to come out is not very easy. You'll have to pry it out with something like a small screwdriver, but when it comes out we can connect it to a micro USB device, if anyone still has one of them. I may not trust this for large data transfers, but for small things I think it's pretty handy. The next item will shock you. It was literally just a prank item, one of the oldest and funniest prank you can pull. For £1.34 you get a shock pen. The idea is simple. In your hands it's a real pen that writes, provided you twist the bottom to reveal the nib. When others try, they will try to click the pen. That's when it will give them a shock. At least that's what should have happened. Sadly, this was a dead on arrival. Something I might look into the future, but at the moment it is just a pen. And for the final item in this haul, we have USB night lights. Pack of 4 for 88p. Although they are white light, so they may not be ideal for a night light, but they do come in warm light too. For 22p a piece, you get quite a fair bit of light. The use cases for these lights are simple. If you have a USB port, you will have light, so you can use it with a power bank, in your car, or my personal favorite, in the back of the PC, where I can see all the cables and ports. You can even use it with the adapter for your phone, so you can have an extra light on your phone, because why not? You might need a selfie light. Whatever the case, wherever you use it, for 22p a piece, these are very good and very useful. That's all for this haul. Don't forget to comment on which product you'd like to see more of, and don't forget to subscribe to see upcoming projects that will feature these items. And as always, thank you for watching.